making sure that gets underway.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll get some advice on that. Welcome Jesse McKendry, please. You have 5 minutes. Welcome.
Yes. Morning, Madam Chair. My name is
Yes, can you just push the button and your mic will go green? You're on now.
My name is Jesse McKendry. My family has a well-respected name associated with the well-established construction company McKendry's Concrete, which was sold in 2001 to Hines and still continues to this day under the name McKendry Construction Limited, the main contractor for the new stadium Te Kaha. The matter that I'm raising here is in regards to the regular and consistent Palestine protests at the Bridge of Remembrance that have been recurring every Saturday since the 8th of October, and I'm no doubt that you are aware, Madam Chair, of the complete vast impact and deliberate disruption to local business for 2 hours every weekend. This time adds up, and so therefore they are not only costing this council in CBD money, but they are also stealing from taxpayers' money. There's been well-documented cases of numerous times of them vandalising private property, such as the TVNZ building, with red paint, and also at the Honourable Prime Minister Christopher Luxon's office here in Christchurch. They can constantly be seen waiting outside National Party representative buildings, and they are clearly breaking many laws locally and nationwide. So this brings me to my first point, is that they believe themselves to be above the law, and they genuinely think that they are on a just conquest. And an example of this is on the 13th of May, we saw a demonstration of this proven attitude of one of them, a female, scaling the very roof of this building. It is therefore unacceptable of their encouragement from their leaders, John Minto and Will Alexander. When he announced his hunger strike, he commended and encouraged the offender and said, I quote, "There is hope for people like Billy who climbed to the top of the Christchurch City Council building with a Palestinian flag," and also went on to say, "There is hope in your anger," and it doesn't sound peaceful or inviting. Their own followers frequently make anti-Semitic remarks and aggressive racial stances to the Jewish community. I myself am not Jewish, but I'm NZ European, and they have continually to call me a Jew supporter, as if that is a crime today in New Zealand in 2024. This brings me to my second point, is that they draw precise parallels to how 1930s Nazi Germany came about. As we all know, that started with the fire of radical fanaticism, misguided views and beliefs of one man that led to systematic genocide and the killing of 6 million Jews. So for Mr. Minto and Mr. Alexander to equate Israel, the only democratically elected government in the Middle East, with its arch enemy, either Hamas or old Nazi Germany, is extremely offensive. They on many times have called it a racist, quote, colonialist European power, all of which are absurdly proven to be false, with historical, geopolitical and geographical facts that the territory that the Brits claimed after World War I from the Ottoman occupation, they chose to name the land Palestine, an ode to the Romans who themselves crushed the Jewish rebellion in Judea in 71 AD and as a consequence renamed the land Syria Palestina, which is in Latin an ode to the ancient Israelites' enemies, the Philistines, who the Palestinians absurdly happen to claim that they are descended of them. However, that the Philistines were one, Greek, and two, wiped out in conquest by the Assyrians long before history even began. So to call the so-called occupiers is actually a false statement, as they are indigenous to that land, and for it is a travesty to compare them to apartheid South Africa, as many of them came from Europe after the Second World War, but a lot of them also came from Iran, Iraq, Syria, Jordan, and Ethiopia. And the main reason that the European Jews wanted a state was so that another Holocaust would never happen again. One of the PSNA's demands is, I quote, "Send them back to where they came from," or their famous slogan, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." A lot of them, this brings me to my third and final point, is that a lot of them don't even know what their own slogans and catchphrases even mean. And a lot of them probably don't even know where Gaza even is. They might even think, if you decided to point it out on a map, they might choose Mexico or North Africa. They demonstrate such unseen ignorance that is never before seen, and it is just another social justice warrior movement where activists can pat themselves on the back and say they did something today other than working hard.
Thank you. Perfectly timed. Thank you for coming in, Jessie. Right, so we'll now move on to our